at the wrecking yard looking for a dash pad for a Chevy Cobalt, and one of the first cars I see is a 1980 Camaro. Wow. I remember when these cars used to be just everywhere. Alright, first Chevy Cobalt we have is a 07. Looks like that door at least used to be red. Dash pad here, it's in pretty good shape. The vent is broken out on it. Let's see if we can find something better. We meant to have a couple Chevy Cobalts out here today. An 08 Chevy Cobalt. LS. But it looks like it has the SS or Sport side skirts. Looks like off of a blue car. And then they put in a bumper cover that came from an upgraded model with the fog lights. I love it when people use wood screws in their body kits. It's ridiculous. Wow. I'm gonna pull those off and see what they did, because that is horrible. I'm gonna make a video on how to actually add side skirts. Okay, so this is not a bad looking dash pad. They already have the defroster vent gone, all the trim pieces which you need to remove, and then you have to pull out the passenger side airbag, which already looks like it's either deployed or been pulled out. Anytime you deal with the airbag system, you want to follow all manufacturer procedures and use all the manufacturer follow all the manufacturer cautions with that. Let me pull this side skirt off. I'm really curious to see what they did. Drywall screw. And fender liners are different for vehicles with side skirts. So to pull side skirts off when they're factory installed, you hit the back of it and pushes it forward, and they usually just pop right off. I think they used wood screws throughout it. Yeah, they just screwed this thing in. Well, that doesn't even make any sense. Sheet metal screws. It looks like they tried to drill a couple holes, but they could have really used the bottom pieces there. So the holes are already there. Interesting. At least they got a professional tint job on it. That's nice. Alright, let's look at the last Chevy Cobalt on my list and see if the dash pad's any better. Oh, here's the Cobalt. Looks like there's a hearse. Interesting. Oh, that stinks. The last Chevy Cobalt on my list. Like the blue. So it looks like it's in pretty good shape. Clearly it had a leak. Factory sunroof. Leather interior. Looks like there's a couple parts removed, but it's not too bad. I think this is what I'm gonna pull the dash out. Airbag doesn't look like it's been deployed. It's dirty, but it looks like it cleans up really good. So I'm gonna pull this one out. Anytime you're working on the airbag system or around the airbag system, you want to follow all manufacturer procedures and use all the manufacturer precautions with this. This one's at a wrecking yard, so the battery's been disconnected for quite some time. And I might have to grab that Factory Pioneer sub, even though it looks really dirty. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to remove the side pillar trim in order to remove the defrost vent cover, and then you remove all the trim for the radio and above the glove box, and then all the side trim over here, and then I think there's 4, 5, 6, I think there's 14 7mm bolts that you're going to pull out. Let me start by removing the side pillar. And that should be a 7mm. Pull that off. Do the other side. Now I'm going to remove the defrost vent cover. Then you have to unhook the light sensor, and they just twist out. Yeah, they get brittle after a while, but you can disconnect it just by pulling up on this, and it just pulls right out. I just replaced one of these recently because the covers do pop off pretty easily. Remove the bottom knee panel. So remove the side cover, and you're going to want to loosen a Phillips screw on here. I'll show you that in a second. And then remove the trim piece over here. So you're going to want to remove this side cover here as well. And then here is that Phillips screw you want to loosen up. You don't have to remove it because there's a little cut right here where it just slips out, but you do want to loosen it up. They've already removed this trim piece. So next thing we're going to do is remove the glove box. Push in on both sides. Disconnect this string right here that helps the glove box shut. And you basically push in on this bottom piece, and it comes right off. Underneath the dash is this access panel. You're going to want to pull it down, and that reveals two 10mm bolts you're going to want to pull out, and that releases your passenger side airbag. You don't have to disconnect the airbag wires when you pull this out. You usually can slip the dash cover over that, but like I said earlier, anytime you work on anything that has to do with the airbag system, follow all manufacturer precautions and procedures. Now I'm going to loosen the Phillips screw on this side. Remove this last trim piece right here. Loosen the Phillips screw on the driver's side. These silver retainers are used when they assemble it at the factory. You don't need to reinstall them. Now I'm just going to remove two 7mm bolts from right here. One 7mm bolt from the other side. On the other side of the steering wheel. And then remove the four 7mm bolts above the glove box. Remove the three 7mm bolts by the passenger side airbag. Passenger side airbag, once you remove those bolts, just push up on it. And then usually you can just slip it down in between as you're pulling it out so you don't have to disconnect it. Now it is ready to come up and out. Last thing to disconnect is the hazard light switch. So I actually don't need the whole dash pad assembly. I have a few of these on my parts shelf, but what I do need is the vents. And the only way you can remove the vents is by removing the dash pad. Flip it over, you'll see one of the retainers they use to hold everything in place from the factory, and then a couple of Phillips screws. Looks like a total of 4 of them. And on the other side, there's a couple Phillips screws, and then a couple Phillips screws on that side. Looks like there's already one missing right there. Then one retaining clip up here. Then one retaining clip up here and one retaining clip down there. last vent. And that is removing the dash pad and then the dash vents from a Chevy Cobalt. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.